Here we are. I'll just traipse through this forest. Oh, my forest, of course. There we are. Look what I espy. Yes. I espy loquats. Yes, there they are. This is the time to pick them in Australia because once they get too ripe, the fruit fly will start attacking them, Queensland Fruit Fly. So this is the time to pick them now and use them to make pickles with, unless you want to spray chemicals everywhere. Yes, who wants, I mean, what's the point of growing fruits on your own if they're going to be all just, you know, just, if you're going to have a cocktail of chemicals, you may as well buy stuff from the shop. But this is one way to avoid having to spray them. Just pick them as they are, just when they begin to turn yellow like now. And you can make them into sweet mustard pickles or into cough drops. They make nice cough drops too. You can buy little cans of cough drops from Chinese stores made out of loquat. They're very nice. Yummy. See, these ones they're ripe enough to be picked. Just a hint of yellow on them. They're ripe enough to be picked now to make a sweet mustard pickle with. Very nice. They can even be picked quite green, you know, not too green, but even these ones can be made into a sweet mustard pickle. Just like you might use a green apple to make a preserve of some sort or chutney. Look what I've got here. Loquats. See? Loquats. Now in Australia we have a dreadful little insect. Dreadful because of the whole environment's getting out of hand, and you've got things called Queensland Fruit Fly. Now the Queensland Fruit Fly will attack every fruit on a tree, whether it be an apple, quince, loquat, pear, anything, and it's quite a dreadful little creature. But if you don't want to spray pesticides all over your loquats, just pick them at this stage when they're about to go, just when they're turning green, just when they're beginning to turn yellow, and just use them as a vegetable. Then you won't have to spray poisons everywhere. You won't. Just use them as a cooked vegetable in pickles. Yes, see, like this. This is bought pickles, but sweet mustard pickles. Now they use cucumber, cauliflower and onion mainly to make these pickles, but if you put loquats in your own pickles, they're really delicious. My mother made some. They were the best pickles I ever tasted. I sound like an advertisement, don't I? But use green loquats. You can use them quite green, you know. You can use them like this one here. You can use them quite green, as long as they're not too green. They're great. They're the best pickles you've ever tasted. And then you won't have a fruit fly problem because all your loquats will be picked green. Well, and before the fruit fly strike. Once the fruit fly, try saying that, fruit fly, fruit fly, fruit fly flit, fruit flies flit. Yes, yes, well, yes, yes, you don't want your, you know, if you're going to leave them on the tree, they'll only get mangled by fruit fly unless you spray chemicals everywhere. If you're going to spray chemicals, you may as well buy them from the shop. So pick them green, and you'll have a beautiful tree. And loquat trees are quite drought resistant too. Of course they like a bit of water for juicy fruit. That's another thing about loquats. They're one of the first fruits. I mean, it's just last day of October today here in New South Wales, and these are already ripe. So they're ripe even before the cherries will be coming out, the earliest cherries. And there's another thing too. Loquats flower in winter. That means when it's winter time, they have all their blooms on for the honey-eating birds. The honey-eating birds like loquats. They do. They like loquat blossoms and are beautiful sweet scent. It's one of the few winter sources of scent too, just for us humans to enjoy. And of course, if you don't have fruit fly problems, parrots and galahs and cockatoos will come and eat these too. Yes. Look, that one. It could do with a bit more sunshine. It's still a bit sour yet. But that sourness is nice if it's cooked into pickles. Sweet mustard pickles. Plenty of recipes online. See ya. Yes, for inner city foragers, I forgot to mention. For inner city foragers, there are still lots of loquat trees growing around Sydney, for example, hanging over fences. Between Edgecliff railway station and Double Bay, New South Head Road, there used to be some loquat trees growing outside a block of flats, and they used to spill all over the road. That was 30 years ago. I wonder if that loquat tree is still there. And this girl and I used to stop and we'd pick loquats. We'd walk around Paddington and Woollahra. This is inner city foraging, mind you, for stuff hanging over fences that people don't want. And we'd be eating loquats. And they were so delicious. Or we'd be on the way to the beach in Rose Bay or Watson's Bay, and we'd find the odd loquat tree hanging over a fence, and we'd have a lovely time. Beautiful fruit. These are Enormity, I think. This variety is called Enormity, but I've also planted a few trees from seeds. See the seed in the middle? You can do the same. You ought to do. You ought to do that. You ought to plant some fruit trees. Unlock the food. It should be unlocked, not just for human beings, but for birds and animals too.